Good day and welcome back to my channel. So this is the next installment in the Ukrainian SU-25 build. This, in here, we're going to pretty much get the fuselage and the main assembly pieces done. I will say that I am really enjoying this kit. It's really going together well, but there are some getchas and gotchas to at least just pay attention to. So I'll talk through those as we go through the build. So instead of having me waffle on, how about we just go right into it? All right, so I really am kind of enjoying my little trip down this build. So far, the Zvezda build's been pretty entertaining, fun. They go together, needs a little fiddly, but it's not terrible, and they do fit together fairly well. The landing gear of this machine is just like, are you kidding me? Overdone. There's a lot of detail and fiddly parts, and I know that I'm off a bit with this one here. So this one's up along this piece a little more than it needed to be. This is also, these pieces are really flimsy. This one actually broke. I have it sort of fused together with glue. I do need to go back and clean up some of these pieces, because just cleaning them up while they were loose, that's actually how I broke that one. So just going back and cleaning these up is in the future, but they're still really, I mean, it's pretty well done. I like the way it's coming together. Doing, again, we talked about the cockpit. There's some more, I keep going back and filling in little bits here and there through this, like doing that little piece right there. Let's see. Overall, like I said, I like it. I'm enjoying it. The choosing the upgrades for the cockpit, I think, will make a difference. We'll see how all of this goes together, right? So I know that there could be some challenges there, but for now, we're looking. I'm enjoying. This. So the nose is a clear piece. Let me find it. Here it is. So the nose is a clear piece, and it has in the front, let me see if I can get it to focus. You see that shape that, come on, focus, there. You see that shape there in the middle? That's clear, and that goes through into instruments that are inside. And there's no detail. Like, there's no, at least as far as I can tell, there's no transfer or anything to put in there. But where's this book? Here we go. There. Right. So in essence, that's pretty much what we have to do with it. There's some little, like, there you can see that there's more screens that are inside. That's just armored plate for the front for where the actual instrumentation is. So what I did was I painted it in this maroon, so that when I put this on, right, and then there we go. When I put that on, seriously, you're not going to focus. I have to use both my fingers. There we go. So there we go. Once I put that on, I'll have that color, because that's the color that's showing. I might just print something out, stick it in there, but that is a detail piece. That's something I did want to mention. But yeah. So I flipped the page on step 11, and quickly it's going to be putting together the rest of the engines, and then putting the bottom piece on. Now, a lot of this bay is not going to be seen. So what I am going to do is I'm going to mask off the fuselage so I don't overdo it, but I do want to hit this with spray. Now the colors I've got, I've seen several different colors for this, and what I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with this off-white, because there's plenty of them that are off-white, and the one that I'm looking at looks like the main landing gear is an off-white, so we're going to go with that. So moving on. Okay, so getting into next steps, doing these. So I did that so at the same time I painted these pieces, right, the intake fans. I also painted this nozzle interior, and I also painted this piece with the same steel color. Now what I also did is I went back and I hit this with the Nuln oil, so a shading, so that it would bring out some of the details for it, right? So I did that in both of those. Since those pieces are now the next ones we're going to do. The interior, this is steel, and I hit that with that. This has like a steel and a blue steel. I may just go ahead and give us a quick shade of blue just to give it that little blue steel color. But I did that. And I also went ahead, and because I'm putting, it says here, do version 1 or version 2, and what they mean is landing gear up, landing gear down. This is with the landing gear down. Those little tiny pieces, they are like really little tiny. But I got that done. But then I went to looking at this, right? So this thing going in, now this fits really well, right? So this piece fits on it very nicely. But as I look at this, there's a lot of not being able to get to the details there. So what I wanted to do is I went ahead and I put shade in on these parts as well. Because as soon as these things go in, right, this is going to be difficult to get to. So I did put shade in here, and I really wasn't too worried about it being clean, because this is a pretty dirty aircraft. So I went ahead, put that shade in, and now what I'll do is I'll go back, get these pieces done, then I'll do all this, and then we'll move on. As if you look at this, right, you see how much of that is actually visible. I'll probably give a little bit of highlight in there, but that's going to be about it. And that's, all you're going to see for the landing gear. So, yeah, let's go. We'll get to that and get moving on. All right, so I did. I just hit it with a little bit of blue shade. It's a blue clear shade. And what's it called? It is called Jacking Off Nightshade. So Citadel, these are actually useful for a lot of this stuff. But yeah, it gives it a little bit of blue shade. Now it's not like you kind of see much of anything up in there. So okay, so like I said, you're with all that. Then it's time to go ahead and start putting the rest of the pieces on here. Now, what I'm doing is I'm walking my way around, right? It's basically starting at one edge and just gluing as I go around. And these go together well, but it really doesn't take a whole lot of fiddling. Just be a little bit patient. I did find that it's better to work from one edge and work my way back, and doing so, they really kind of go in together without too much difficulty. There's a little bit of fiddling and faffing here and there on some of these seams, but the fit's really, really pretty much kind of nice. I'm pretty happy with it. You can see that I'm kind of hold it in place for a good bit here, especially on these parts, because these are on this little arc, and I really didn't want to have to mess with the seam too terribly much. And I end up not really having to, because it really does go together in such a way that that I can. But it just took me having to do that. getting these and then putting these end pieces on, right? They are right and left-handed. It is pretty easy to tell which is which when you get them together. And, I feel like I said it, hey, they go together well. They do meet up fairly well. And with just a little bit of pressure and a little bit of patience, you get the seams to match. And I'm using the Tamiya quick setting just because I find it to be better in this situation. Doing exactly what I want it to do. But that's it. It's just walk around each of these seams patiently. When you get the main assemblies put together, this is a really, really well thought out kit. All right, now the next piece is getting the end caps for the intakes. Now the way they're put on the sprues, you do have to spend some time cleaning them up. So do that, take your time. I end up using my knife, a little bit of sandpaper, well, the sanding stick, and you actually get that to be pretty well smoothed down. Once that's in, again, put it in place, and they have little notches. There's a notch that matches up top, just like that. And then again, I'm using the Tamiya quick set, and then with that and a little bit of pressure, I get it done. With that fighting, I've gotten this far. So we've gotten basically step 21 done. Gotten each of these. I guess it would be helpful to have this over here. That done, that done, that done. Again, what I did do was I skipped putting these actually go together really, really well. I did use clothespins, to hold them, but they did go together very, very well. I am choosing to have the air brakes closed. I could do them with them open. It would be really interesting if I did, but I'm not. This spot, so I did skip these. Right, so these are the landing lights. And in essence, what happens is these pop down, right? And when the aircraft comes in for a landing, it comes down and it lowers these, and then that's your actual landing light. So what I'm going to do is we'll end up doing the whole paint job, and that'll be like one of the last things to go on. We'll paint that and then drop in the clear glass. These all go together really well. Just a little bit of cleanup of the sprue gates, etc., and they drop in. There was a good bit of fighting getting the seams here to match up, but I managed to get it. Just spent some time with sanding paper. This piece here was a little snug, and putting these on really, really was snug. So essentially was I started here and went back, right? That's what I did with both of these, is I started at the front and worked my way back. As you can see, I did put a fillet of filler here. I'm going to let this finish up curing, then I'll go back and I'll hit that with filler real quick just to fill that little piece, right? But you can see it really does fit in there quite well. So yeah, having gotten that far, I'm ready to move on now to these steps. And again, these are small detail pieces, right? Just taking, there's a lot of pieces, but if you just take your time, put them in one at a time, they go together quite well. So I'm pretty impressed with it. Yeah, I'm really, really, really liking this model. I'm also looking at, it looks like it might be off. We'll see. Looks like it's sitting just a little bit that way. Funny things you notice. Anyway, yeah. Again, it's slow, steady work, little bits at a time, putting in the details, because once I do this page, it'll be doing these. Now I did already do the wheels. Now that was annoying. That was annoying. Did I mention that was annoying? I don't understand. I don't necessarily understand why they're built that way. They just are. But it's just a little bit of work. So they went together fairly well. Um, but yeah. So the next step here for me is to go ahead and get cracked in on this page, finishing off this page. Then we'll move on to the rest of the undercarriage. And then once I flip to there, once I get that done, it'll be time to pretty much drop on the canopy and start painting. The ordnance I'll just do separately. But this I will go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and finish building the aircraft up first, then get it to where it's pretty much ready, put the canopies on, and then I'll just do the painting, which has yet to be figured out. So, moving on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video there. This part of it, there's still a couple little things to do, but it's almost to the point where it's time to crack into the painting. We'll just get to all that in our next video. I hope that this was at least entertaining to watch. If anybody has any tips, suggestions, whatever, please feel free to just go ahead and put them down below. I always read everything. I like getting advice. So if you have the advice, please feel free to offer it up, because I listen. Just the only thing I ask, just keep it respectful, because understand I'm learning. That's my whole point. I'm sharing my journey here. So until next time, thank you very much, and happy modeling.